Hey guys, Foxdrop here, welcome back to our Spectate series. Today we have one of the more impressive elo climbs that I've ever seen personally. This is son of Kasing, who has risen to rank 1 in EU with a 80% win rate on Jayce. Ridiculous win rate, 70% win rate overall throughout his whole champions and 80% on Jayce is absolutely absurd. He's been tearing up solo queue, like just no words for it really. People don't necessarily really know who this guy even is, but there have been some kind of Reddit detectives and speculation that Kasing is starting his own team that will be competing for the Challenger Series, and this is his top laner. But either way, it doesn't matter who he is, this guy's ridiculous, and hopefully today in this video we can take a look at what he's doing, how he plays, and we can, through that we can, learn how he plays and maybe pick up some things along the way as well. So, first things first to say about this guy is for his runes and masteries. Well, first thing I will say is that the way he plays the lane phase is very passive. You would think for someone that wins 80% of his games on a certain champion, he will be going ridiculously aggressive and, just doing shit like that. He doesn't, honestly. He plays really, really passively and he farms up throughout the lane phase. Nothing too special about how he plays early on. It's really interesting. You'll see he sets up quite a lot of freezes as well. His wave manipulation, so that he's setting up a lot of freezes. So he's constantly in a favorable position with him sitting near his tower, so he can farm safely. But outside of that, runes and masteries, guys. If you want to pick up son of Kasing's Jayce, just a pure AD page, AD res, AD Quints, army lows, magic resist blues, really standard rune page there. His mastery page is a little more interesting though. He goes 12-18 with Thunderlords, which is in itself normal, fine. However, the interesting about it is that specific points he gets in the cunning tree, he goes for the mana regen. He goes for the mana regen and also the bandit as well. So those are two really interesting choices that you don't expect to see too much. But outside of that, this is what I'm talking about, him setting up loads of freezes. He'll do stuff like this, where he sits with the casting units attacking him, making sure they're not going under the tower, so that then he basically gets a little bit of a wave reset here, because he's got the minion wave holding in this specific situation, and it's now going to be pushing into him even more still, because the extra 3 casters that were alive were doing damage. So yeah, he usually gets like quite a lot of gold before he recalls, and then he gets like he'll probably be going Hex Shrinker. Like whenever he's in an AP matchup, he just farms till he's got enough gold for a Hex Shrinker, then he recalls, gets the Hex Shrinker. So he'll probably be doing that this game. But yeah, well, that's probably the biggest surprise to me, was just that how passive he plays. But yeah, he's got a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about how to wave control. If you want more info on wave control and some knowledge on how to do it properly, here here comes the dive right here. If you want information on how to do this properly, what's going on here? Okay, well my hotkeys mucked up. Go watch Solo Renekton Only. He's really good at talking about that kind of stuff. Like he's obviously a Renekton player, top lane player, but he's challenger as well, and he's got a lot of knowledge when it comes to wave manipulation and all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking to learn that kind of thing, then definitely go and check him out. He'll do a good job of teaching that kind of stuff. But still, good start to the game. 46 CS, pretty perfect CS honestly, almost perfect, and he's gonna have a shit ton of gold here, so we can go back and 1700 gold, Hex Shrinker, and a longsword. There you go. So this is pretty much like what's interesting to me about the way this guy plays is, oh wow, that was he's not even going back top lane. He's first TP and he's TPing to roam for a kill. Interesting. What's interesting to me is the fact that he doesn't. What was I trying to say here? The fact that he not only does he not play too aggressive early on, but his item builds, he gets Hex Shrinker like almost every single game. Like legitimately, he'll rush Yumu's in like almost as his core builds. Like 99% of his games, he rushes Yumu's, but then he gets Hex Shrinker and more Man Mortis as often as his second item. But if not his second item, he's like as like a last item or something. Pretty much every single game, like legitimately every single game. It's you don't really see Jayce get Hex Shrinker that much. Honestly, it's not a bad item on him or anything. I'm not saying it's like really weird, but it's just how religiously he gets it is a bit surprising. Considering most Jayces go Black Cleaver, and son of Kasing doesn't seem to get Black Cleaver too frequently here. So at this point he can probably start playing, he's looking to be playing a little bit more aggressive, because he's got the Hex Shrinker, he's tankier in that sense, he's more resistant to all-ins as well, so he can afford to go pretty ballsy here. Just harass as much as he wants to harass. Jayce is such a strong laner that honestly he can do what he wants to do here. And it's part of the reason why Jayce is such a good solo queue champion is because he's so good in that lane phase. He may even still pick up the Katarina on the backside here. Question mark pings coming down on the cat there. I don't think she needed to die there, but still, he's drawing so much attention to himself. Even though he died there, it's not necessarily a bad thing to die in that situation. Yes, you never really want to die in general. But if you're drawing so much attention to yourself just through the amount of pressure that you're generating, and you're forcing the enemy jungler to come to you, to give you attention, to like stop you from doing what you want to do, that in itself is not strictly a bad thing because it means your team is better set up in the future to do what they want to do. So he's snuck cheekily into this top lane bush here. Katarina has no idea. Oh, she's pinging it. She's not sure. Someone pinged that bush, but holy shit, this damage. What the hell is that? Oh, he's getting baited though. Let's see if he can snipe the Katarina in the backside. I don't think Katarina will make the same mistake. She won't. But that is ridiculous damage right there. Let's take a look and see what... Did he get anything else? Did he get like a Dirk or something there? No, he didn't. He's actually full on rushing the bloody Mortis. So much damage, legitimately. Crazy stuff right there. But still, drawing attention from Lee Sin again, and look what Lee is able to do on the backside. It's not necessarily bad to be getting camped and to be getting ganked. I mean, a lot of people get really angry about that stuff. A lot of people get really tilted when they get ganked and they're like, oh my goodness, my jungler sucks or whatever. Getting ganked is good. Honestly, you want to get... In solo queue, you want to get ganked. Yes, it's a little bit annoying to be getting ganked, but it means that if the enemy jungler is putting attention on you, then he's not putting attention somewhere else, and generally speaking, that's going to work favorably for your team. Of course, it depends how you play it as well. If you're just feeding over and over and over, that's not so good. But especially if you can get jungle attention and not just like... If you can survive, it's really good. But if you can at least like trade kills or something, then that's even better. So yeah, right at this point here, his TF... This is the thing is like, he draws... He's fine, his top lane doesn't need to do too much, so he's just going to chill. A little bit afraid of Lee Sin, it seems, so he's going to play respectfully towards the vision there. If his team moves towards the bot side, he has to be a bit wary that there's a possibility that he might... Like, the enemy team can come top side and screw him over, and there's not much that he would be able to do to stop it if his team is bot side, so you've got to respect that. Got to be a little bit safe. But taking away the red buff from his jungler at 13 minutes. It'll be the third red buff spawning. Not that surprising to give it away, but very rarely you would see a laner just solo it. Just take it. Like, yeah, I want this red buff, I'm taking the red buff. We'll see if he does anything with it. But at this point, he's still back in the farming mode. To be the exact, or almost the exact same CS as someone who's got loads of ganks is pretty good. But still, he comes to the TP play. TP's a bit late, honestly, but still, is he going to get anything out of it? No, he's just going to instantly die. Terrible teleport. Son of Kasing, mate, I'm doing this video to show off how good you are. And you're feeding your ass off. What's that about? It's a bit of a shame as well, because he had some gameplays where he just like completely popped off, and I really wanted to show those, but for some reason the spectator was just completely broken. It wouldn't work. Like the replays don't work, which feels this is the only one I could get. But hopefully we can still get some good stuff again. Down here is 2 and 3 now. All of his deaths have come at the hands of the enemy jungler. His team's still able to mop up, which is good as well. But what's really interesting, what's really important, I should say, for solo queue is if you do have like, if you have like some bad plays or the enemy jungler comes to your lane, it's really important to know what to do in those situations, how you can still be useful despite that happening. Now, because Sonic Kasing has such a good farm, has been farming so well this game, he doesn't have to worry about that too much. He's not going to completely fall behind because he's got his CS to fall back on, so he's still getting gold, which is important to try and not die too much more here. But still, generally speaking, he should be okay. It looks like he is going for that Yumu's Thirstly here as well. Moving towards the play, which sadly isn't going to happen, but at least he didn't die here. His team died, but he didn't. That's, you know, could be worse. Are they trapping in the bush here as well? Is Katarina going to come up? She is. She's thinking about it. That is a snipe and a half right there. Respect to Morgana for that one. That was a good snipe and a half. So it's interesting to see plays like this. Plays like that, you might just think, oh, he's not doing anything. Morgana just snared him and killed him, and, you know, he's getting carried by Morgana. What's cool about a play like that is if you replace this Jayce with another player, does that play even happen? Maybe that's part of what makes this guy such a good player. I mean, he has 80% win rate, rank 1. Okay, so obviously he's doing something right. Maybe he's the one making those calls, you know. Maybe it's him who's deciding, who says to Morgana, he's like, yo, wait in this bush. Like, come here and just wait here, you know. So even though Morgana makes the binding, he's orchestrating his team to the extent where good stuff happens. So after getting this first tower, we'll see here what his plan is now, whether he wants to keep pushing top and applying pressure there, whether he wants to rotate into a different lane and apply pressure in that lane. When this Baron spawns, you'll probably see him trying to sit bot side a bit more, so that his team can play around the mid lane, around the top lane, and if people come down for Jayce in that bot lane, they can then take the Baron instead. Translate that pressure, but for now he's going to be grouping up a little bit here. Ari's already gone down, a 1-for-1 so far. Cheeky snipe onto the Katarina. Let's see what they decide to do here. A lot of damage coming through from Jayce, but playing it very skirmishy here, very skirmishy. Not dedicating to too much, just chilling out, throwing Qs in, jumping in but then jumping out again, poking a little bit as well. So don't dedicating too much. That's the important thing to know about the way this guy's playing so far. Don't dedicate, guys. Don't go ham, full on, balls to the wall, balls deep. I mean, this situation right here, this scenario, they're losing the game. Kasing is losing this game. So how do you put yourself in a situation where you're losing the game? How do you win? That's an important lesson to learn in solo queues. First important way to win, have the highest CS in the game. That's pretty good. That's exactly what this guy has. That's not too bad. His complete is more, like I say, he always goes more man, more tier, so that's pretty decent, honestly, in this team comp as well, when you got, not only you're up against an AP, like 2 AP solo laners, but also you got a little bit of extra magic damage coming through from having a high magic damage support such as Brand. But at this point, Dragon is about to respawn. Let's see if they go for that, whether they just run to Baron, whether they go for the fight, or what they intend to do here. He is grouping up a fairly significant amount, which is quite important to note. Pushes out a side wave first, and then he groups up. He's not just like mindlessly grouping, he's always pushing out a wave and then grouping up. Are they going for the Lee Sin here, or what's their plan? Go for the team fight, go for the Lee Sin. What's it going to be? Go for the poke. It's a good start. They might lose the Dragon here, but if you've lost Ez, you probably don't want to necessarily force the contest too much. Let's have a look and see if something happens here. So, just doing auto attack stuff here, not going too deep, just pure auto attacks, just chilling out. Boom, down goes the Lee Sin. That actually makes it a little bit easier to contest the ocean if they want to. It's only an ocean dragon, maybe they don't care too much about it. But with Jayce's poke as well, it could be an option. Opting not to go for it though, that's fine. It's only an ocean dragon, no one gives a shit about ocean dragon anyway, especially at this stage of the game. It's good for the early game, but outside of that, it's pretty bad. Just chilling out here, just slowly but surely. He's playing very calculated. He's not really that aggressive, honestly. Which is, to me, that's surprising. You would think someone who has such a high win rate, that they would just be like really aggro all the time. This guy is not aggro at all. He's like really chill. And that's quite cool, because sometimes I feel like I lose games trying too hard to make plays, and then I just like fail really hard, and then our team just loses the game. But this guy is not forcing anything, like legitimately not forcing anything. So we're going to slow it down a little bit here. TF gets caught out and he jumps straight in onto the Katarina, interrupting her ultimate with his E as well. But again, he then falls away. He's not just running into people and just going really hard. He's playing really, really skirmishy here. That's really important to note, guys. He doesn't just run mindlessly into people and just like right-click them. He does his shit and he backs away. He'll like do a little bit of poking, fire out a shock blast with the acceleration gate, jump into hammer stance, go in on that, pow, do whatever the combo is on that shit, and then come back out again. He's not dedicating to the play, which is quite... I mean, considering he hasn't gone Black Cleaver build especially, I think that's quite important. Right. Rest in Pepperoni's Lee Sin. Let's see if he's not going to do something here, is he? Me talking about him being calculated. And then going balls to the wall here. Nice, good pick. That should be the Baron. If you've got the enemy jungler, you then make another pick as well, especially. That should be the Baron. Now, he's kind of low on mana and health, so he might want to recall, teleport in perhaps. Maybe they just want to bait this one. All in all, a bit of a risky one just to go for the Baron. He's going to TP here. He's TPing onto the Ahri. He's building into what looks like his Black Cleaver here. Blows the Ahri ult. That's good. Take that just for a TP. That's not bad. Probably no Baron play going down anymore, but still overall that wasn't too bad. I mean, they got the Jhin for the Elise and they got the Ahri out of there, so could be a lot worse. It wasn't too bad. So we'll skip forward here. See if he does anything specific, anything interesting. How much gold is he sitting on actually? He's only got 500 gold, so if he recalled it would be pretty pointless. There's nothing really for him to achieve by recalling, so I'm not going to recall. Still sitting around the Baron area here. Now, because his TP is down, it's kind of hard for him to leave his team at this point in the game. Because if he does leave his team here, the enemy team could just run to Baron, and then it's a 4v5. And, you know, Jayce can't TP into the fight. So he's going to be playing... I said he'd be playing around bot side, so he could threaten the TP and stuff. But he won't really... He can't do that when he teleports down, so instead he's grouping up. So he starts the fight off with a Shock Blast, and then swaps to Hammer Form and tries to get in. Pretty much how he's been doing this whole game. Very skirmishy. Again, now he's got a Shock Blast back up. He goes into his Cannon stance. Playing, just like lead with a Shock Blast, jump into Hammer stance, do your shit, and then jump back out again. Alright. They're going to go for the Baron here. They've got 2 picks. It would be a good idea to go for Baron, but you have to get this Elise in as well. But it looks like his team's got that covered. No worries. Going for the Baron here. This should be uncontested, but Ahri looks like she might want to do something. Ez is zoning. Ez actually kills Ahri, which is pretty impressive. And then here comes the follow-up. Boom. Dead Katarina as well. And so much CS bot lane. Why wouldn't you want to pick that up? Look at this guy's CS though. This is really cool to know. 234 CS at 25 minutes. That is pretty crazy, considering how much jungle attention he got this game, like, on the negative side of things, right? Lee Sin killed this guy twice, and then he TP'd and instantly died as well. So, for him to have such consistent CS totals, it's really important to do this in solo queue. Just, if you keep farming, then it means you have a shit ton of gold, and that's really important. Basically, this guy may as well have, like, considering, like, he's got 100 more CS than Ez. Almost 100 more CS than TF as well. Look at the gold totals here. He's only 500 gold down on TF, who's 8 and 4. And Jayce is 4 and 3. Right? And Ez is 8, 6 and 8. And Jayce has more gold than him. Like, that Ez is fed as hell. But Jayce is genuinely more fed than Ez. Because he's just got more kills, you know. So therefore, because he's got more farm. Therefore, he has more gold. He's the second richest person in this entire game. It's important to keep farming, guys. Because yes, getting kills is great. Getting fed is great from that sense. But all you got to do is get minions and then you get fed as well. We're going to skip forward here because I want to try and see him like maybe group to Siege. See how he plays that one. Whether he, specifically if he focuses on poking out enemy champions or enemy minions. If you've got Baron, then you could argue that your minions kind of just do all the work anyways, so maybe you can just like poke down champions and stuff so that you can at least win the fight. This is a little bit, yeah, TF with his late, I was going to say a little bit cheeky if TF doesn't have his ultimate, but he did his ult, just didn't use it. Really nice initiation from the enemy team though. It's important. If you know, that play looks like just like a dumb play from the red team, but it's really important if you're on the enemy team's perspective, so the blue team's perspective here. If you find yourself in a situation where you're down like that, you got to find ways back into the game, and that's really important. Just catch people off guard. Brand does a shit ton of damage as well, which is this is disgusting how much damage that Brand does. He should not do that much damage, but we'll skip forward here because again, more interested to see how he sieges here. It looks like these guys might group up a little bit here and start actually sieging properly, so that's what I want to see here. Maybe not. He keeps like just catching the odd wave and then regrouping. It's quite interesting. Like he'll generally just like run to a side lane, get the mini wave, and then run back to his team. Alright, here we go. So now they're actually grouping up to siege. So what I want to see here is whether or not he fires Shock Blast at the minions or whether he fires it at players and who he aims it at. He's playing pretty far back here though. You do not want to be on the front line if you're playing Jayce here going for the tower. Always play it chill, play it passive. Oh, holy shit, that damage was crazy. He just like 3-shot the Ahri. What the hell was that about? And he's still going for it. He's still going for it. He's playing it really, really chill here. Holy shit, really chill. pokes with his cannon form, only goes into hammer stance there when the Lee Sin has already jumped on top of him. That should be the game. Jayce pushes pretty bloody fast. Some side notes to say about how Jayce plays this game. Not just this game, but games in general. Sometimes he buys Gunblade, which is really interesting. But that's just so that he can all-in people, I think. I mean, Gunblade on Jayce kind of is weird in itself. But, you know, he shock blasts and then he's got the extra, like... kind of like the energized, I guess, if that makes sense. Like he shock blasts and then combos and... Yeah, it's just crazy damage like that. Sometimes he actually goes Triforce as well. Similar reasons. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, guys. He didn't pop off too hard, but I still think there's important things to note from this game. Because honestly, I think a lot of people, if they would fall behind from 2 jungle ganks early on, would just lose. You know? But this guy has 8% win rate for a reason, guys. So even if it doesn't look impressive, it's the little things that make a big difference. So thanks for watching the video, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. You can give me a cheeky thumbs up if you want to, and you can subscribe to me for more Legends content. Most importantly, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.